Okay, here's our fourth video, and it's our example 2 of piano type accompaniment. And you really only have two kinds, and a combination of those two kinds, which is the chord accompaniment, and that we just did in the previous lesson, and arpeggiated accompaniment, which is, I'll play the example for you here. And I think it's safe to say, roughly, you know, most piano accompaniments are going to have that chord type plunk plunk kind of stuff integrated with the arpeggiated type accompaniment with chords. And because that's really all music is, it's chords and scales. And you're not going to be playing, you know, scales when you're doing accompaniment for an Elton John song. So this will take you far, I think. So let's go through the steps. You have the 5 steps that you've written out, and let's listen to the recording again. Now, for this one, I want to start at the end because we want to know what key we're in. If that's going to, some of you guys, you know, maybe kind of know what it means to be in a certain key. To know if you're in the key of C, that's great because you know you're probably not going to have many sharps or flats. If you're in the key of F, you're going to have 1 flat, the key of G, 1 sharp, and it'll be F sharp. If that doesn't make any sense to you, I really recommend my 50 videos under the piano lessons on the website on learning how to play in certain keys and what it means to play in certain keys. So, I want to listen to the last chord because that's going to tell me what key we're in. That's going to tell me a lot about what's going to go beforehand. So let's listen to the whole thing. Listen to the last chord. The bass note in the left hand. Bass note, left hand. Bum, hear that? Dun. So we hear it's a G. And remember, we're not listening to the top note in the right hand because that's not going to tell us what the name of the chord is. It's not going to tell us what key we're in. You know, it might, but that'll, you know, it'd just be a coincidence. So we're listening to that bass note, key of G. Well, if you know anything about the key of G, you know that in the key of G you have 1 sharp and it's F sharp. So that means all the keys, all the letters will be just white keys, except when you get to F, you'll have an F sharp. And of course, these letters are not lined up with the notes here. I need to press my start and stop button. But the key of G, so that tells me that I'm going to be using G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, of course, and then G. And it also tells me I'll probably start with a G chord and I'll end with a G chord. Now, not always, but most of the time, 99% of the time, whatever key you're in, you'll start with that chord and you'll end with that chord, okay? So that's going to help me at the beginning. Now, remember, step 1 is to listen to the bass note. So we're listening to left hand, not right hand. So just the very beginning. Let's do it again, the bass note on the left hand. Well, we actually hear 2 notes. They're actually the same note because I'm doing an octave, right? Bass, left hand in piano in contemporary accompaniments is going to be doing an octave most of the time. Bum. So it's a G, okay? So no big deal there. So let's write our horizontal line all the way across. And we have a G to begin with. Alright, so a G. Now, I hear a second bass note in there, a second left-hand note. You can hear it. And so let's listen to that. And before we even decide what it is, what are our options? It's probably another G, or if it's the octave in a fifth, it's going to be the D in the middle. So you have an octave, we can have that fifth in the middle. It could be the D. So let's listen. It's probably what it is, but let's listen to that second note. It's real soft, but bum, bum, no, bum, and there it is. So I don't have to do any more searching. So you see, you narrow it down by knowing that's probably going to be a G or a D. All right, bum, bum. So I'm going to go ahead and write that, and I'm going to leave a little room because I might have some right hand notes in there that come in between. So G to G there. Now let's listen to the right hand. Okay. Now, before I even do it, probably, most likely, what I have in the right hand will be some form of a G chord because we're in the key of G. Now, if you know that a G chord has a G, B, and a D in it, and I'm not going to go through all that because I did that in my the 50 lessons there in the Easy Piano Lesson series, but G, B, D, okay? I'm gonna be looking for that when I'm playing my right hand. I'm gonna keep that in mind. It's probably gonna be GBD of some sort. So let's listen to the right hand. Now here, we're not gonna necessarily listen to the top note because there's not a chord. It's arpeggiated. See, it's one note at a time. You can hear that. Bum, 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 bum. So there's no sense in trying to listen to a top note because we don't have a block chord. So let's just listen to the first note and then stop. Hear it? Bum. There it is, G. Alright, so I'm going to write that. Now, I need to know where that note occurs. Hear how it happens exactly with the first note of the left hand? Bum, they both happen together. And I'm really just going through this and isolating piece by piece. And this is really what you have to do. When I was a kid, we only had record players. Didn't have CD players or even tapes much. And, you know, I'd have a record player and I would play just that one little part and then lift the needle up and then put it back down, listen to it again over and over and over again until I could hear that. Alright? And the record player wasn't near the piano, so that was a lot of work there. Now it can be a lot more convenient. So I'm going to line up the G and the G and I'm going to draw a line there like I always do. Now we're going to listen for the second note of the right hand. And you want to sing it. Bum, 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 no, bum, bum, no, bum, bum. There it is. G, B. Okay, now I need to know, where does this G come in, this left-hand G? Well, we can erase it and put it back somewhere else if we need to. But let's just leave it here for now. Let's get the right hand in and then we'll see where the G goes, okay? Bum, 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 bum. So we have G, B, bum, no, bum, 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 no, bum, D. Remember I said we were assuming, or that kind of depending on that, we'd have some sort of GBD, and there it is, GBD. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, and I know it goes up. Bum, 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 bum. Well, it's probably not an E or an F sharp. It's probably the G here. Bum, bum, bum. And it is. Now, I need to decide where this G is going, right? Hold on just a second. I'm going to stop this video. We're already at 8 minutes, and we'll pick it up on the very next video.